Hi, Zoans here. Welcome to another FL Studio basic tutorial. Today we're going to talk about the piano roll. So piano roll is the way you write music, write notes on FL Studio. And to open the piano roll, you have to right-click on a channel you want to open its piano roll. For example, the kick, right click and click on piano roll. And so you have piano roll. Okay, obviously this is a sample. So if when I click the higher notes, I obtain a shorter kick and also a more high in pitch kick. If I click lowest notes, I obtain a lowest note kick, but also I can put, for example, a piano, okay, FL keys, okay, and so right click on FL keys channel, piano roll, and then you have a piano roll. Okay, we have different options, and the first one I want to show you is an helper, okay. Basically, if you have this situation, okay, and we want to put a note, okay, let's suppose you zoom out and you have this situation. So you put these two notes, but you don't know what notes they are. So you can zoom vertically and you can see G5 here and C5 here. Or also you can okay watch to the right and watch left and uh, and uh, and see what notes they are. But there is a better way. So to if you activate an helper, so click on this arrow here, go to helpers and note grid highlights. So in this way you can clearly you have these lines, so these more dark lines that represent dark the black notes on the key, okay, and so you don't have to watch right and see what note is you're putting on. And then also you have all other helpers. You have also scale highlight. So for example, you click on measure and then you go to helpers again and set a root note. So for example, if your root note is D, okay, and so the highlight changes. So you have this note, okay, you can see, okay, so D measure. And this is very helpful also for beginner that don't know well music scales and other things, okay. So I'm going to reset. I don't use obviously scale highlighting, okay, because I know scales, so I use as a reference black notes only, okay. Then let's talk about the piano roll. Okay, we have a bar 1, 2, 3, 4 that is composed by 4 beats. Okay, and also you can set snap, different types of snap, as I did in the playlist. Okay, so it works in the same way. You also have line, and when you zoom, you can see more lines. And when you put notes, so you can change, you can click and drag, you can change the length. In this right click also and drag, you can delete, you can change the length in this way according to the snap, or if you double click, you can change, for example, the start time and the duration in a more precise way, like this. Okay. Also, if you press Alt as in the playlist, if you press Alt and then click and drag, you can bypass the snap. Okay. Also, there is an option to resize from left. Okay, and you have to go to edit and click on allow resizing from left, and uh, and so you can resize from left, but I don't use it. Okay, so I'm going to deactivate. Also, when you put notes like this example, okay, and you want these notes to fit the entire bar, so when you select all three notes and use the draw option, you have this symbol, and if you click and drag, okay, you can create so three notes in a bar. And this is very helpful sometimes to create certain rhythms. So for example, if you want to fit 5 notes in a bar, so for example, you have the first one. So for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. So you select and click on the draw icon, click and drag. Okay, also if you press Alt, you have a kind of snap, but the thing I don't like of the snap is that I can't set it. Okay, so in this way I can't even if I change the snap here and for example set to none. Okay, doesn't change. Okay, so it's a type of snap that can be changed. Okay, so you have to use your eyes. And in this case, if you see in the hint panel, okay, so when you select and you click and drag in this way, you see in the hint panel, now I am on 112.5%. Okay, so in this case, I have to reach 160%. Okay, and so I have 5 notes in a bar. And so if you want, if you listen the metronome hit 4 times in a bar, but we have five notes in a bar. So if you want, you can create a polyrhythm. Okay, so for example, putting let's see here. Okay, so the final result is this. Okay, this is a polyrhythm. Okay, polyrhythm is especially when you have different kind of rhythm structures. So, for example, you have one side you have 5 notes, and the other side you have 4 notes, or in a side you have 3 notes and you have 7 notes. Okay, you can also have 7 notes or 11 notes. Okay, so you can make crazy things like Jordan Roots do. Okay, so that crazy rhythm. And so this is very helpful also because there isn't a snap, for example, to 1/5. Okay, there is a 1/4, 1/6, but there isn't a 1/5. Okay, so and I think they can put it. Okay, at least 1/5, 1/7, and maybe 1/9 and 1/11. Okay, at least, I think, to allow a crazy musician to express in a more comfortable way. And so in this case, you don't have to write your notes, and then for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these notes, and 7, and you have to reset, select, and stretch, and sometimes you are not sure if the scaling is perfect. Okay, so I think at least 1/7, 1/5, and 1/9, 1/11. Okay, so let's talk about note properties. Okay, when you put a note, so there is a start time, there is a length, and also there is velocity. Okay, you can see the velocity in this section here, and you can change velocity this way, clicking, just click, or click and dragging. Okay, okay, and we have different other properties. So for example, if you click on this arrow, or right click, or scroll here, you can scroll, and it shows, for example, here I have velocity, and you can see here there is velocity. Okay, when I scroll, there is here release, unsupported, panning, channel pitch, okay, channel volume, channel panning. So for example, if you select panning, I can, if I increase to 100%, let's zoom out. Okay, you listen, you can hear the piano is totally to the right or left. Also, you have for certain scenes, for example, if I shows a free oscillator, and put a note, okay, and maybe I shows a sawtooth wave, okay, and if you set okay, you can change also the cutoff frequency. So for example, in this way, okay, and this is relatively to the cutoff value you have set here. Okay, so you have to open the channel and go here and here in the envelope settings. Okay, and there is a filter, so you choose the type of filter. You have low pass, band pass, high pass, band stop, so the notch filter, and you can have for example, one note to a value, and you can have a note, for example, on a cutoff value, and another note on another cutoff value. Okay, and so this isn't an automation. Okay, so because it's not you set the a cutoff value for each note. An automation is something different. So for example, with automation clips, You can have a long note. And so let's create an automation clip. Right click on the filter cutoff, create automation clip. So you go to one playlist and put pattern 1, maybe a more long note, and so play. Okay, this is an automation. But when you write notes on the piano roll, is not an automation, okay? So you set a cutoff value for every note. So we are talking about note properties, okay? Then there are other types of properties, and also you can assess double clicking on the note, and you can see panning here, velocity, release, mode X and mode Y, and also pitch. Also, you have your color that, okay, we are going to see in a minute. And there is a slide. Okay, slide, you can put slide notes. So slide notes, there are not notes, but they are notes properties changed. So for example, if I put a slide note here, if you zoom, you can see there is a little symbol here. And if I play, so the length of the whole note is determined by the first note length, okay? So if this note is more length, and the length of the slide note determines how fast you pass from, for example, in this case, C5 to G5 sharp, okay? So if this note is more short, the slide is more fast. If you put this note that is more long, okay, and be careful to end at least the slide note before the first note end. And I suggest also to end the slide note before the first note ends, because if you set, for example, the first note that is too short and the slide note that is too long, the slide process will not be complete, okay, because you can't pass totally from C5 to G5 sharp, so you remains in a middle, okay? So like this is example, the note is this. And you can also slide the chords. So for example, if you want to pass from a C major, okay, to F major, okay, you have to put the slide note, in this case, considering the higher note of the chord, and so relatively transpose it. And in this case, G5 became C5, okay, because F major is composed by F, A, and C. Okay, so when you slide chords, you have just to put the highest note and put it relatively when you want the chord slide. But there is a better way using multiple MIDI channels. Okay, an important thing, slide is not a MIDI thing. A slide is just a thing that works with native FL plugins. So it's internal in FL Studio. And so if you want to create a polyphonic slide, for example, you want to pass from C major to C minor, okay? So in C minor, you have also C5 and G5, but the middle note changes. So you pass from E5 to E5 flat. And so you have to put this note on the channel 2. So double click and select here channel 2 and accept. Or also you can go here, select the channel 2. Okay, now I select channel 5 in order you can see more clearly. Okay, so I put this note, and then I put a slide note with this color. So I put E5 flat or D5 sharp. Okay, but because we are descending, I call it E5 flat. And so when I play, okay, I have to set the slide note more short. Okay, or you can also pass, for example, you can also and you can have 16 up to 16 different channels. Okay, so you can create a complex polyphonic slide. Also, there is another option that it's called portamento. Portamento is another thing. So portamento are notes. So for example, you have this note, and then maybe is here, and another note that is here. Double click, activate portamento, or obviously you can also click here, and all notes you put on the piano roll will be portamento notes. And so the portamento is this. Okay, listen again. There is a width here, and you can set in the channel go here and set the portamento time with this knob. If I increase, okay, you can hear more clearly. And so in portamento you can also have staccato notes. Okay, in slide mode you have to have legato notes. Okay, because if you have staccato notes, doesn't work. Okay, so in this case you have to use portamento. Okay, obviously the length of the note doesn't change the length of the we can call it sliding. Okay, but this is not a slide. Okay, the portamento time. So the portamento time you set here with this knob. When you write things using VST that supports multiple MIDI inputs. For example, like Contact. Okay, so let's load Contact. Okay, so I chose, for example, Chris Hine solo cello, romantic cello, and then I put, for example, noir. And so when you put instrument on contact, it will automatically put the first one in the first MIDI channel. Okay, so it receives notes from the first MIDI channel, and the second one you put on, it receives notes from the second MIDI channel. You have to right-click and activate MIDI channel through in order this option works. Then go to the piano roll of contact, and when you put notes on the first channel with normal notes, you have cello. When you put things using the second channel, MIDI channel, you have piano. Okay, so in this way, you if you want, you can have an entire orchestra in a piano roll. Okay, so for example, you have a major chord with the piano and something with the cello. Okay, and obviously I don't suggest to have an entire orchestra on a single piano roll, but I suggest you maybe to use a MIDI out channel. And so is this one, MIDI out. And you have to activate the input port of contact. So you go here, here, and here, and set, for example, to 0. Then be sure that MIDI out at the output port here set to 0. And so if you have a keyboard and or also with the key of your keyboard computer, and obviously you have to activate this option, and you can hear the cello. Okay, in the channel 1. If I switch to channel 2, I have a piano. So if you put things on piano roll here, you have a cello. You can create another MIDI out channel and set it to channel 2. And so when you put things here, you have piano. And so in this way it's better because allow you to stay more organized. And also if you want, you have a cello, and I used to color cello with color that is similar, okay? Or you can use also an icon. We have a violin, okay, it's okay. And here you can put a piano, so you can, well, this is noir, okay, so you put, and also you can rename, it's better, okay, you can choose an icon, okay, and so this is very, very fine. A cool thing about piano roll is that you can see these ghost notes. Okay, so now I am in the noir channel, and but I can see also the notes of the other channel, and you have to activate this option, and the name is ghost channels. So if I deactivate, I can see the notes that are in other channels in the same pattern. So obviously we are in pattern 1. In pattern 1 you can see notes that are in pattern 2. And obviously this is not sense, okay? With this helper, so if you activate ghost channels, and also you can see this note that if you want, you can follow it, okay? And if you double right click on the ghost notes, you switch to the piano roll of the other channel, Okay, it's very, very, very easy. It's a very nice function. Also, you can switch to from a channel to another, clicking on this arrow here and select the channel. Okay, so you have MIDI out also with the icon, and I think it will be fine in a future version of FL Studios. They color these things following the colors that you put on different channels. Okay, so I think this will help you a lot, because when you have a lot of channels and you have a pattern, so that and in a pattern there are many instruments that have a score that that have notes. Obviously, I don't work in this way. I prefer to have a pattern from drum, a pattern from bass, a pattern from strings. So I divide all things in patterns. I prefer to create more patterns. But also, okay, I think if there is a color here that reminds me the channel, I think it will be nice. Also, there is another option, editable ghosts. So, for example, if you click, you can change the position, the length of the ghost notes, but you can select ghosts in this way. Okay, so I don't use it. I prefer to switch from a channel to another. Obviously, when you activate editable ghosts option, you can select this node, because in order you don't make mistakes. Because maybe you can have nodes on this channel that are in this position, and if you edit this node and put it in another position, you're also going to change the ghost nodes, so the nodes of the other channels. So they have made a choice. Then there is an option to view, instead of viewing the piano key, choosing keyboard styles and list, you can see just the name of the notes. This is more suitable when you use FPC, for example. If I take FPC, okay, so a drum kit, automatically it shows me list, so the name of every part of the drum, so the snare, the crash, and you can change the keyboard style to modern and classic. So you have okay, different view option, but always you have the name. Also, when you change the names on FPC pad, so for example, here I have kick drum. If I change, I name it as a trance kick, supposing that is a trance kick, and boom, we have the trance kick name also here. There is a thing, when you load a VST, an external VST, like for example Battery 4, and I load a kit. Okay, so when I go to the piano roll, I see the names here. I can switch to modern, I can switch to list, but I can't, there isn't an option that allow me to change the name of these notes. Okay, and I think it will be also very helpful when you write things on a drum like this, because drum is a percussive instrument, so it's not like a cello that when you start, you can start choir, and then you play more hard, and then you play more softer. Okay, the drum starts, there is an hit, and then there is a decay of a sound. So it's not necessary you put length on notes. And there is a way to discard lengths. You have to select the notes, you have to set the snap to none, and then you go to edit and you go to discard lengths, and boom, now you have infinite notes. If you double click on a note, it shows to you infinite. Also, if you have a note and you click and drag all the way down, it goes to infinite. Okay, maybe you are thinking, and about crash? Okay, crash, if you hit a crash on a drum, if you don't stop it, it will be a very long sound. To stop a crash, there is another option that is called cut by. I had made a video in the past, I think. For example, where you have an hi-hat here, and you press a pedal hi-hat, the sound, the first sound, the stops, so you don't have the tail. Also, when you have multiple snare, for example, okay, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, let's make an example with crash. So we have crash, crash, crash. Okay, multiple crash. So there is a tail, okay? But you know, when you play the same thing, when you hit the same thing, you start every time a new sound. You don't have every time the tail of the previous sound. And so with cut by, for example, I set to a cut to, for example, here, and then cut by also to 2. You can hear is different than this. Okay, we have all the tails of all the crash hits that are they put all together and make a confusionary sound. Okay, with cut by. So, for example, when the first hit, there is a first hit, and then when the second hit comes, it automatically cut the tail of the first hit. And so you can think, okay, but how I can stop that crash without using another crash, because I don't want crash. Okay, it's very simple. Basically, you put another crash, but with velocity to 0, and so this is the result. Okay. So in this way, you're going to stop a crash sound. And obviously, it works on other drum sounds. And maybe you have a gong sound and you want to stop the sound, okay? And now we're going to see other options about so notes. You have also you can put a chord, an entire chord. So for example, this one. When you click with the draw icon, boom, you put an entire chord here. Okay. Also, you can put a scale, and this is more for beginners that don't know well music. Okay. Also, we have the same icons as the playlist. So, for example, we have the playback icon. Cut, it works in the same way as the playlist. Zoom, mute, you can mute notes, okay, mute and unmute. And we have other options here. So we have, for example, quick legato. So if you have notes in this way, you select these notes and shows quick legato, and so you have legato. Or you have articulate. Okay, you can change some various things. You can also have variations. Then you have quick quantization. Okay, so for example, if I record something, okay, and so if you can see, there are not precise. So you select, and the quick quantization works according to the snap you have selected. So for example, if I select this snap, I click on quick quantization. Also, there is a shortcut Ctrl Q, and you make a quick quantization. Or you can quantize just the start times. Okay, so it preserves the end. Or also you can quantize with other options, and so you have more control. Then you have chop, quick chop, or you have chop, and you have different options. Okay, this is chop. Then you have glue. Okay, glue. For example, you have the two notes in this way, and you, so that there is the same note twice, one time after one note, immediately after the other, without space. So glue, and you create one note. Okay. Okay, arpeggiate, you can make arpeggios. Okay, you have different options here. And strum and flam are things to emulate the things happens when you play a guitar. For example, you have a chord like this. Let's increase velocity. With strum, for example, okay, there is a delay between notes. So because when you play guitar, you play before the lowest notes and then the higher notes. Okay, so you have different options here. You can change the time, the tension, velocity also. Okay, so maybe you want the first note is more quiet and the last note more that play more hard. Okay, so you can have control also on the length, the tension of the length. Okay, and also you have phlegm. Okay, so when you put phlegm, basically is where you make a double note. So in this way, okay, we can change. So this is phlegm. Okay, and when you use this option, you can change the length of the note in this way. But these two notes are grouped. So when you move all two notes. And so if you want to unlink these notes, you have to select and go here and ungroup. And so you can move in separate way. If you want to group again, you select and click on group. Then you have also limits. So for example, if you have some notes and you want to limit the range, okay, or you want to limit it on a scale, you have different you can change the root note, you can change the scale. This is a tool that can be helpful for who don't know well music, so I don't use it. It's a thing for beginners. Okay, then you have also flip. Okay, you can flip horizontally, vertically and horizontally, preserving or not start times. Okay, also you have randomize, scale levels. Okay, this is very helpful, for example, if you have velocity in this way. Okay, and when you select all these nodes, you can change the center. Okay, so change the multiply factor. Okay, the offset, and also the tension, and this is also very helpful. Obviously, when you scale levels, depends the focus on the focus here. So if you have velocity, you are going to change velocity. If you have panning, and for example you have this situation, and so scale levels, multiply, and so you go to change the level scaling of panning. In this case, these are independent scaling: velocity, panning, release time, and then we have also LFO. So LFO, this is not very, and this is not an LFO. This is, for example, a parameter, node parameter change following the LFO rules. So, for example, if you have a velocity and create an LFO, okay, you can change the value, the range, the speed. If I put, for example, a lot of these nodes and zoom out using LFO, you can clearly see there is a sign here, a sign shape. We can change in triangle shape or square. We can change the phase, the range, the speed, so the frequency of LFO. And also we have a different control if you want on the end, so to create maybe a fade in or fade out about the LFO. Okay, so in this way, and so you can apply LFO to all nodes properties. So on velocity, release, fine pitch, channel volume. Okay. And so for the video of today, that's all. Let me know if you have any question. Give me a comment below. Share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you soon with another FL Studio basic tutorial video. I wish you a beautiful day and we'll see you soon. Bye.